Las Vegas police encountered an incredibly difficult situation when the gunman perched on the 32nd floor of a hotel began shooting at concertgoers on the ground below with automatic weapons. It took officials 72 minutes to actually break into his room, although there are some accounts that they were there within 20 minutes. Once they got inside, the gunman was found dead of an apparent suicide. Joining us now is Henderson Cooper, former LAPD and CIA officer. And Cooper, good of you to join us. Is this the nightmare scenario if you're law enforcement that somebody's in a skyrise shooting down at a crowd below?
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be with you as well. And certainly it is a nightmare scenario. Anytime when you have anyone shot and killed and injured, it's terrible. But when you get to the numbers like 50 people or more and all the hundreds that were actually wounded, it's terrible, and it's the worst of possible circumstances, particularly in this circumstance, the way it happened.
Is it already a tragedy when it gets to the point where somebody can actually get into their hotel room with this kind of firepower?
Yeah, it's a curious situation because with that many weapons and that much ammunition and equipment, this person had to have made several trips to and from a vehicle carrying those things in there, and that this is able to happen in the midst of all the public that was around. It is concerning.
We heard from our Michael Shore a few minutes ago that it's not unheard of in L.A. for even hotel staff to see people with weapons in their rooms because of the number of gun conventions and NRA conventions that happen in the city. Are we now entering a point, though, where everybody has to, I don't know, either have a background check or have their bags and things checked before they can even check in a hotel?
Well, you know, it's not been my experience to see that kind of a thing in hotels before, and I've been to conventions of those types. Maybe in Las Vegas that is more likely to happen because of their respective gun laws, but it is a difficult situation where you do have people who do have weapons, and they can be exposed or they can be out and about, and people have to determine how they're going to respond to that. So a maid or someone in a hotel seeing a gun has to decide what that means to them, and that makes it difficult.
Coop, have we now taken a giant step back, perhaps, in terms of revealing a vulnerability in the United States? And what I mean is that anybody who wants to do major harm in the United States, such as Islamic State, they can now look up and see, aha, all we need to do is find some sort of skyrise perched above a large crowd, and that can be our point for killing a lot of people.
Well, that kind of scenario is probably no secret, but yes, every time something like this happens, it becomes a rehearsal and a suggestion of what the possibilities are. You know, we live in a free society, and because we live in a free society, we're a lot more vulnerable than one is in another society where there's a more oppressive, more ever-present police, and people are watched, and there's controls over the actions of people and the things that they have access to. You know, we're vulnerable because of our freedoms.
And Coop, those freedoms allowed this gunman in particular to use armor-piercing bullets. What's your reaction when you hear about that?
You know, I have a big problem with that because armor-piercing bullets mean they're going to kill whatever they hit, or the potential for that. And that's concerning because law enforcement is going to be wearing vests. Civilians are not. What happens is that neither one of them is safe from those kinds of weapons, those kinds of rounds.
Henderson Cooper, former LAPD and CIA officer. Coop, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. My prayers to all the people who are hurt and injured.
Indeed. Thank you.